So we are doing reasons for downward sloping of demand curve, and we have already discussed law of diminishing marginal utility. The second point is income effect. Now, what is income effect? Income effect is a change in demand on account of change in the real income resulting from the change in the price of a commodity is known as income effect. I just gave you an example. You get one burger at 100 rupees, and in that 100 rupees, you are purchasing one burger. Now, during the Navratra time, there is 50% off on burgers. And that 100 rupees becomes for 50 rupees. The burger cost of 100 rupees changes to 50 rupees. Now, I can also take my brother along with me. If I have 100 rupees and I'll come, in that 100 rupees, I can also have and you can also have. So what happened? My income did not increase from 100 to 200. My income is the same, 100 rupees. But in that 100 rupees, because the price has changed, resulting from price change of a commodity. So price has fallen from 100 to 50. So now I can afford two burgers in 100 rupees.
And the purchasing power increased.
What happened?
The purchasing power is increased, right?
Yeah, the purchasing power is increasing. The purchasing power is increasing here. So the income effect occurs when the price change affects the consumer's purchasing power. So previously my purchasing power was for only one burger. And now my purchasing power has increased from one burger to two burger, not because my income doubled from 100 to 200. My income is same 100, but in that 100, I am able to buy two burgers of 50 rupees each. So remember, there is something called real income. Real income, many a times in economics, you will be coming across this word real income. Real income is not the change. In reality, the income does not increase, but the purchasing power increases due to some other reasons. Okay, and thus leads to a change in the quantity demanded. So what is my quantity demanded? From 1, it has changed to 2. So price falls, quantity demanded increases. Again, the law, see, in every point, the law of demand is getting satisfied. Price falls, demand rises. When the price of a commodity falls, the consumers can buy a larger amount of the commodity with his given money income, or he can buy the same amount of commodity as before, and at the same time, he would be able to save some money. Okay, then you might not want to purchase two burgers. How your income will increase? Now, if you buy one burger, because it is changed to 50 rupees, you will be spending only 50 rupees and you will be able to save 50 rupees pocket money. Yes, this is the second option to you. First option is that you double your consumption. If you do not want to double your consumption and you're purchasing only one unit with the change in price also, then in that case, also the law of demand is getting satisfied because you will be saving money. And the saved money also gives you utility because you can use that 50 rupees for some purchase or some other thing. Maybe you can buy a softie for it. Okay. In other words, fall in the price of commodity results an increase in real income. That is the purchasing power of a given money of the income increases. And a part of increased real income may be used to buy more of this commodity. Got it? Now let us explain. Yeah, I have already explained you. So I'm just ignoring here the Apple wala thing. So I just already explained. So you know what it is. Now for the saved part, the consumer may use this increased real income, the saved income, in purchasing the initial quantity of 2 kg. In case of the fall in price of a commodity causes increase in real income and thereby increases the quantity demanded of this commodity. So it's one and the same. I gave you burger example. Here they're giving you apple example. So it means the same. Now the next one is substitution effect. What is substitution effect? You know what are substitute goods? Give me an example of substitute goods.
Tea, coffee.
Pepsi and Coke, tea and coffee, Mirinda and Fanta, Slice and Maaza, substitute. So how substitution effects also helps, is also a reason for downward sloping of demand curve. Another reason why we expect the demand curve to slope downwards is the substitution effect. Now, what is substitution effect? The substitution effect is the effect that a change in the relative prices of substitute goods has on the quantity demanded. Here, see, we are studying law of demand, not because of change. The downward sloping of this law of demand is not happening due to the change in the is not happening because of the change in the price of the commodity. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I just told you the reverse. Here the law of demand is operating because of the change in the price of the commodity. How the price of the commodity when it is changing, and that change in price of the commodity is causing a downward sloping of demand curve because the other factors are assumed to be constant. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
We made 8 assumptions, and in that 8 assumptions we kept all the other factors apart from the price of the commodity constant. So now how the substitution effect happens? When the price of a commodity falls, the prices of the substitute remains unchanged. Thus it becomes relatively cheaper in comparison to its substitutes. Now, for example, I'll just show you one screen and I will explain you the substitution effect. Can you see the whiteboard? Yeah. See, this is Pepsi, or let's keep it as burger only. And here we are having two burgers. One is KFC and one is McDonald's. Now, I was purchasing McDonald's burger for 100 rupees. Okay. At the same time, KFC burger is also 100 rupees. I am using this. So I'm talking about the price of McDonald's burger. From the previous example only, I'm continuing. Now, the price of McDonald's burger falls from 100 to 70 rupees. It falls from 100 to 70, whereas the KFC price remains at 100 rupees. KFC price remains at 100 rupees. Now, what is going to happen? Just imagine the substitution effect. Here, the McDonald's burger is falling from 100 to 70. So the McDonald's burger is becoming cheaper. Now, what about the customers of KFC? If I am the burger of McDonald's, good. It is a win-win situation for me. But even the people who are purchasing KFC burger will now start purchasing McDonald's burger because McDonald's burger has become cheaper. So here the substitution effect has happened because the price of the commodity which we are talking about, or the price of the commodity which is in question, the price of that commodity has fallen, and it is also attracting the customers of the same substitute commodity to that commodity. And this is the substitution effect which has happened. Other customers are going to shift to McDonald's. Is it clear? Okay. So when the price of a commodity falls and the price of substitutes remains unchanged, it becomes relatively cheaper in comparison to substitutes. So McDonald's becomes cheaper in comparison to its substitute of KFC burger. In other words, its substitutes becomes relatively costlier. So what has become costlier here? KFC has become costlier. Utility. So a consumer who maximizes his utility. So a utility maximizing consumers will normally like to substitute cheaper goods for costlier ones. If a customer who likes substituting, who focuses on utility, not on the brand. Okay, a hardcore, die-hard fan of KFC will still buy KFC. We are not talking about that type of customer. So a customer who is a rational, in economics, we call rational consumer a consumer who maximizes his utility. And utility is maximized when you actually use every worth of money. So utility maximizing consumer will normally like to substitute cheaper goods for costlier ones. Thus, the demand for relatively cheaper commodity will increase. So here the relatively cheaper commodity is McDonald's burger will increase. For instance, if the price of coffee falls, okay, this again, I'm not reading this tea coffee example, you would understand. So the consumers would naturally shift from the consumption of McDonald's to KFC. This increase, the consumers would naturally shift from the consumption of KFC to McDonald's. So this increase in demand on account of McDonald's becoming relatively cheaper is known as substitution effect. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Very easy to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as compared to income effect, substitution effect is more important. And income effect and substitution effect are separate. Remember, don't get confused between income effect and substitution effect. Because in income effect also, the McDonald's burger price was falling. In substitution effect also, the McDonald's burger price is falling. In income effect, we did not talk about the substitute goods. We told that if McDonald's burger price is falling from 100 to 50, the consumer can buy, instead of one, it can buy two, because the purchasing power has increased. So income effect talks about increase in real income and it talks about purchasing power. Substitution effect talks about that if the McDonald's price is falling, then even KFC burgers, the substitute burgers, consumers will also come and start purchasing McDonald's burger. So here the demand is increasing because of substitution effect. Is that clear? Okay. And people get confused between income and effect and substitution effect. I do not want you to get confused. Just remember the example. And I'm not using this boring example of tea, coffee, because in every book they use this tea, coffee. So burgers and all, something is something which you like it and so you can relate it and remember. So that's why I'm using all such examples. Whichever economics book you pick up, in substitute, this boring example will be there, tea and coffee. I am bugged up because even when I studied economics, it was tea and coffee in 2005. Now also it is tea and coffee. So for me also it has got become boring. So, whenever the fall in price of a commodity takes place, whenever I'm talking about the fall in the price of McDonald's, income effect and substitution effect both happens at the same time. And because when the price of McDonald's burger is falling from 100 to 50, at the same time, for me, income effect is also happening. Like, okay. And at the same time, substitution effect is also happening because even the KFC burgers, consumers will now buy McDonald's. So when you combine the income effect and substitution effect, this is a very important point. So when this price change happens, the income and substitution effect will happen simultaneously, and in the combination of income effect and substitution effect is called price effect. It is a very important question and for sure it will be asked in examination. What is in either you will get income effect or substitution effect or price effect. Or if the teacher wants to know what is price effect, in price effect both income effect and substitution effect will get covered. Then the next point is increase in the number of consumers. Okay, what about if the consumers increase, number of consumers increase, a fall in the price of commodity leads to an increase in quantity demanded by the existing consumers due to income and substitution effect. This we know. Instead of having one burger, we are having two burgers. So price effect is happening at the same time. When the price of a commodity falls, many new consumers will start to purchase this commodity. Many new consumers also, even if the people also are not eating burgers, now even the poorer people or the middle class people who are not able to afford 100 rupees for burger, if the price has fallen to 50 rupees, now they can afford. So don't you think that there will be some new consumers also who would also want to purchase the burgers? Yes. So many new consumers will also start purchasing this commodity. At this, at a very high price of commodity, only few rich people can afford to buy that commodity. But when the price of this commodity falls a little, people with moderate income will also be able to purchase this commodity at still lower prices. Now, if the price falls from 50 to 20 rupees, then even students who go day to day to school, they can also afford it because 20 rupees everyone will have, okay, as a pocket money. So at still lower prices, even the poor persons will be able to afford it, and therefore the demand for this commodity will rise. Thus, when the price of a commodity falls, the number of consumers increases, and this tends to raise the demand for the commodity. For example, when the price of apple is 100 per kg, then a handful of consumers can buy it. If the quantity demanded is small and the quantity demanded is small, as the price of apples falls to 70 rupees per kg, then apples are within the reach of those households who could not afford to purchase apples at higher price. Consequently, the total demand for apple goes up. Is this clear? Very, very simple. I hope you are able to differentiate between income effect, substitution effect. Then you understood what is price effect. Price effect is the combination of income effect plus substitution effect. Combine it is called price effect. And when the number of consumers increases, when the price of a commodity keeps on falling, then even the new consumers go on purchasing. So the demand, when new consumers go on purchasing, new consumers get on added, so the fall in price will again lead to an increase in demand. So in all these 4 points, whatever we have done, the common factor is the same. Price is falling, demand is increasing. And this is what law of demand states, that when the price falls, the demand increases, and then the demand curve becomes downward sloping from left to right. And then the last one is several uses of commodity. Then there are some goods which can be put to a number of uses. Now, there in types of demand, we did one type of good. Can you just tell me what is the name of that good? Under types of goods, we had one keyword, goods which have multiple uses are called dash. Types of demand. What was that? Tell me fast. Rohan, what is the type of good which has multiple uses? What? Put it on chat box. Yes, composite demand. That type of demand is called composite demand. So there are some goods which can be put to number of uses. Some of these are more important while others are less important. For example, now the common price of milk is 60 rupees per kg, 55 to 60 rupees per liter. So if, and we know that milk has multiple uses. From milk, we can make curd, we can make butter, we can make paneer, we can make sweets, we can make so many things. So if the price of milk falls from 60 rupees per liter to 20 rupees per liter, then instead of buying a paneer packet of 200 gram for 100 rupees, you will instead buy more of milk and then make paneer at home, because milk has become much, much cheaper. What you were purchasing at 60, now you are purchasing for 20. So here the demand is increasing, not the demand is increasing because the commodity has several uses. Now the milk consumption will increase. People would like to make curd all out of it. They would want to drink milk. They would want to make paneer. They would want to make sweets. They want to make gulab jamuns. They want to make rasgulla. So there are multiple uses which they can do. Got it? So, some examples are steel, aluminium, coal, electricity, milk are examples of such commodities. If electricity becomes cheaper and LPG becomes costlier, then people will buy electric stoves more, and they will cook more on induction and on electric appliances, because because the electricity has become cheaper. They will cook in microwaves and inductions more. And you have electric rice heaters also, rice cookers, electric rice cookers, because electricity is cheaper, people will make in that. So when the prices of such commodities are very high, so and if the price of milk shoots up from 60 rupees kg, if it's 60 rupees liter to 100 rupees per liter, then even you would not want to make tea or coffee also out of it. You will just keep it for a very limited consumption. Or even if you are making tea or coffee, you will not have 5 cups of tea in a day. You will have maybe 1 cup of tea in a day, because milk price has gone up. And when the prices of such commodities are very high, they can be used only for more important purposes. Clear? And therefore, only a small quantity will be in demand. And therefore, only a small quantity will be in demand. But when the prices falls, these commodities will be put to less important use also, leading to an increase in demand. So here the demand is increasing because when the price of milk is falling, people are not just consuming milk for as tea and coffee or just the raw milk. People are also using milk for making other sweets at home, paneer at home, ghee at home, because milk has become cheaper. And milk has multiple uses. So the fall in the price of milk has led to alternate use of several use of milk. And for doing the several other uses of milk, the consumption of milk has increased. I hope this point is clear. So now we can just sum up the whole class into 5 points. So why does the demand curve slopes from downward, from left to right? First one is law of diminishing marginal utility. It meant that as the price is falling, the demand curve is sloping from downward, from left to right, because as the price is falling, and if the consumer is purchasing more and more and more of certain commodity, remember biryani. After first biryani, second plate biryani, third, fourth biryani, you will vomit. The utility of that product decreases. It can even become negative. When you start vomiting, it will become negative. Okay, so first is law of diminishing marginal utility. And it is operating. Why you are consuming more? Why you are consuming more biryani? Because the price is decreasing. And this is a very interesting the law which you will be doing in the utility chapter. And then through graph, you can see that how it becomes even negative, how the graph even goes down from the x-axis. Like for example, how if something goes underground, you will see how the graph is going underground also. Then the next one is income effect. Income effect, what is the keyword? Real income and purchasing power. Then the third one is substitution effect. Here, the fall in price of the commodity will attract even the consumers from other substitute products. The substitute products consumers will also start buying the product in the question. Then increase in the number of consumers. As the price will fall, more number of consumers will be able to afford it at a less level of price. And then several uses of commodity, all the products having composite demand. If the prices of such commodity decreases, then the commodity will be put to multiple uses, and when it is put to multiple uses, then what will happen, that people will buy more of the quantity of that commodity in question, and then the price will increase. And again, I'm reminding you, one common point in all the 5 points is that price is falling, demand is increasing. Thus, it is explaining the principle of law of demand. What was law of demand? Again, last class we did law of demand. Again, I will remind you what was law of demand. What was law of demand? Again, we will read what was law of demand. The law of demand states that other things remaining equal. First, we will silent the other things. Other things remaining equal. The quantity demanded of a commodity, burger, milk, whatever we are talking about in the example, the quantity demanded of a commodity increases when its price falls and decreases when its price rises. So law of demand is not just about falling price. It is also about rising prices. Price falls, quantity demanded increases. Price increases, quantity demanded falls. In this case also, law of demand will be satisfied because there is an inverse relationship. Price falls, quantity demanded increases. Price increases, quantity demanded falls. Indirect relationship, inverse relationship. Clear? And the law of demand can be also explained through individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. And individual demand schedule can be graphically represented as individual demand curve. And market demand schedule can be graphically represented as market demand curve. Done? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will be stopping here, and next topic I'm not